Where we hanging out and what we doing, we can't really disclose.
For years, internet detectives have speculated about the strange vibes between a young Justin Bieber and Diddy. Theories circulated that their early-era relationship was suspicious, but neither Bieber nor the bad boy himself ever addressed it. Maybe because Bieber knew better than to start airing out whatever went down with Big Brother Puff on national TV. But now, with Diddy's legal mess exploding, Justin has stepped forward, and he's brought receipts from his childhood trauma. It was hard for me being that young. Yeah, go ahead. Pick your jaw back up, bestie. We're only getting warmed up. Before things got weird and before cancel culture came for Diddy's entire legacy, 15-year-old Justin Bieber was just starting his main character arc. He was discovered at 14 by Scooter Braun. We'll circle. Back to that drama later. Then he got signed by Usher, who comes with his own complicated tea. And just like that, from a YouTube cover boy to a global phenomenon, Bieber's rise was meteoric. Through Usher, Bieber met Sean Diddy Combs, music mogul, Bad Boy Records founder, and industry heavyweight. Their connection started around 2009. Justin was a newbie, Diddy was a titan. And at first glance, it looked like classic mentor-mentee vibes. Receipts show that in October 2009, Baby Biebs, deep in his Notice Me Senpai era, tweeted Diddy, "Have a song I produced for it. I am Diddy. Everyone tell him he needs to. Let me do something for his album. That would be crazy. Get at me, Diddy, haha." It's giving peak 2009 nostalgia, just a kid shooting his shot at a music legend. But then came the content drop that's since been dissected like a true crime episode. In November 2009, a video titled Justin Bieber's 48 HRS with Diddy was posted to Bieber's YouTube channel. In it, Diddy describes their hangout as a 15-year-old's dream, cute on the surface, until he added, "We can't really disclose what we're doing." What? That one line set off alarms for TikTok sleuths everywhere, and it didn't stop there. In the same clip, Diddy jokes, "I've been given custody of him." He then claims, "I don't really have legal guardianship of him, but for the next 48 hours, he's with me." It got even weirder. Diddy promised Bieber he'd let him drive his Lamborghini at 16, and casually mentioned giving him access to his mansion at 18. Yeah, it's giving major if you know energy, and not in a good way. Then, things turned full creep when Bieber, prompted by Diddy, said, "Let's just go get some girls." To which Diddy replied, "That's what I'm talking about, kid. The man after my heart." If that aired today, the comment section would be incinerated. In another clip, "You good?" "Yeah, I'm good." "How are you?" "I'm good. Selling out arenas and everything." "Starting to act different, huh?" "You haven't... you tried to reach me, but you didn't really get my number." "Oh, right. Number." Their collab continued into 2010. In February, they attended the SOS Help for Haiti benefit concert alongside Sean Kingston. Then, in July, Bieber was spotted driving Diddy's Lamborghini, just like Diddy promised. Back then, it screamed rich mentor energy. Now, the vibes are way more unsettling. By December 2010, the two were filming promo content for Diddy's last train to Paris. In one awkward moment, Diddy gave Bieber a Bad Boy Entertainment varsity jacket and asked why they weren't hanging out anymore. Bieber's response? "You don't have my number." The energy? Completely off. By early 2011, the Bieber-Diddy dynamic was still unfolding in public. In February, they appeared on Jimmy Kimmel Live. Diddy gave off big bro energy, calling Justin his little brother and talking about how the music industry was like a family. But then, he dropped a line that's been haunting the internet ever since. He knows better than to be talking about the things that he does with Big Brother Puff on national television. If that aired today, Twitter would implode. That one. Sentence was so loaded, so off. It's the kind of thing you'd expect to spark a 10-part podcast series or an entire Netflix docuseries. But back then, it just slid under the radar. In that same interview, Diddy joked about the Lamborghini again. "When's that coming?" Bieber laughed. "I haven't gotten it yet." Diddy replied, "He had the Lamborghini for a day or two. He had access to the house. And he knows better than to be talking about the things he does with Big Brother Puff on national television. The coded language, the controlling energy, the power imbalance. It's all there, plain as day." Fast forward to February 2014, Bieber attends Diddy's party in Atlanta, rubbing shoulders with Rick Ross and T.I. The alliance was still publicly intact. Then came Bieber's 21st birthday. Diddy and Justin filmed content together, drinking tequila, with Diddy claiming it was Bieber's first shot ever. Which, let's be honest, doesn't hold up. Bieber later admitted to substance use much earlier, starting in his early teens. So the whole thing felt less like a celebration and more like a staged PR stunt. For Bieber's 22nd birthday in February 2016, Diddy gifted him another Bad Boy varsity jacket. At the time, it looked like a major flex, a sign that Bieber was firmly embedded in the bad boy inner circle. Their relationship continued to have public touchpoints, even as the undercurrents got murkier. In 2023, Bieber featured on Diddy's track moments from the album Love Off the Grid. He even gave Diddy a shout-out on X, formerly Twitter. That would be his last public acknowledgement before the whole situation unraveled. And then, plot twist. Diddy's downfall arc began in September 2024 with his arrest, sending shockwaves through the music world and igniting every online conspiracy theory imaginable. Suddenly, every old clip of Diddy and Bieber got dragged back into the light. Especially that 48 hours with Diddy video. TikTok and Twitter went full crime doc mode. Threads, timelines, voiceovers, dot connecting. Was Bieber just a kid in toxic environments? Or was there more to the story? The internet split in two. Half the timeline was screaming, "Protect Justin." The other half demanded hard proof. Then came the wildest plot twist yet. An AI-generated track titled "Lost Myself at a Diddy Party" went viral on TikTok. Fake lyrics, fake vocals. But everyone thought it was Bieber. The line, "I was in it. For a new Ferrari, but it cost me more than my soul." That hit a nerve, because it fit the algorithm's narrative. The fakery spread like wildfire. While this chaos boosted engagement, Bieber himself stayed silent. As of 2025, he's in full dad mode, focused on his son, Jack Blues Bieber. Sources close to Justin say he's absolutely disgusted by the allegations. He's not making statements. No Notes app apologies, no interviews, just disappearing into family life. Other insiders claim he's shut down entirely. The phrase "major trauma response" keeps getting tossed around. And now, there's a whole online movement. Justice for Justin, paired with louder calls for stronger protections for child stars. The music industry's long history of exploiting talent is finally being dragged into the spotlight. And Bieber's connection to Diddy? It's getting compared to another young protege, Usher. Back in the day, Usher also lived with Diddy at 13. He later opened up about curious things he saw at Diddy's infamous parties. That eerie parallel has become prime conspiracy content. But without Bieber himself publicly speaking out, it's all speculation. Still, the question lingers. Was Bieber's long battle with mental health, his addiction, his breakdowns, somehow rooted in these early experiences? Justin Bieber entered the chat on March 1, 1994, born in London, Ontario, Canada, to teenage parents who were barely legal and deeply unprepared. His mom, Patty Mallette, was just 18. His father, Jeremy Bieber, was in and out of the picture. They never married. They split early. It was giving viral breakup before Twitter energy, and that fractured foundation set the tone for Justin's earliest trauma. Raised by his single mom in low-income housing in Stratford, Ontario, Justin's childhood was built on survival, not stability. Patty worked multiple jobs to make ends meet. The vibe? Struggle. His dad? Ghost energy. He disappeared when Justin was 4, only to resurface dramatically on Father's Day, playing the emotional boomerang card. That wound would shape Bieber's craving for validation, especially from older male figures. And it gets deeper. Patty had her own unhealed trauma. Her 2012 memoir, Nowhere But Up, revealed that she survived childhood assault, struggled with substance abuse, and attempted to end her life at just 17. That generational pain created a ripple effect. Justin didn't just grow up poor. He grew up inside emotional chaos. In a 2021 GQ interview, Bieber reflected on what that instability did to him. He said he gravitated toward people like Pastor Judah Smith's family because they represented the safety and emotional stability his own family never gave him. The result? A kid with talent, but no roadmap. A teen with money, but no boundaries. Still, Justin's star rose fast. At 12, he took second place in a local singing competition. His mom uploaded the performances to YouTube. And just like that, he was an algorithm baby before algorithms were even a thing. Scooter Braun stumbled on one of those videos in 2007. Within months, Bieber was signed to RBMG Records. By 13, he was serving global main character energy. In 2009, he released his debut EP, My World. By 2010, Baby dropped, and the internet exploded. An army of believers was born overnight. The whiplash from suburban tween to international pop sensation was instant and brutal. In a 2019 Instagram post, Bieber opened up about how the parasocial love bombing distorted his reality. I went from a 13-year-old boy from a small town to being praised left and right by the world, with millions saying how much they loved me. He admitted it broke his brain, literally. His frontal lobe wasn't even fully developed, and he was drowning in dopamine and pressure. He tried to play the game. But the music industry? It doesn't care about your age. It cares about your output. Bieber confessed to GQ that after signing his record deal, he felt deeply sad. So sad, he once hid his passport to avoid going on tour. He missed his childhood. He missed his friends. He missed being a kid. But nobody around him seemed to notice or care, and that pressure, that inability to say no, became fuel for his next chapter, the self-medication arc. In his 2020 YouTube documentary Seasons, Bieber admitted he started smoking weed at 12 or 13. I got super stoned, and I liked it. That moment unlocked a dangerous pattern. By 19, he had upgraded to MDMA, shrooms, pills, the full toxic buffet. He described that phase as crazy scary. So scary, in fact, that his security team would check on him at night to make sure he was still breathing. I was waking up and popping pills, smoking a blunt, starting my day like that, he confessed. This wasn't just teen rebellion. This was a survival mechanism turned deadly. In Seasons, he opened up about his relationship with Xanax, saying he used it to numb the shame from his wild hookup era. I found myself doing things I was ashamed of, being super promiscuous. I think I used Xanax because I was so ashamed. Bieber wasn't running from critics. He was running from himself, and as if that wasn't enough, the depression and anxiety boss levels hit hard. In a 2019 Instagram post, he revealed he'd wake up with dread, convinced that things would never get better. I felt like I couldn't get out of bed. I felt like it was never going to change. He even admitted to having thoughts of ending it all. The mental health spiral wasn't subtle. It was loud, public, and terrifying. Eventually, Bieber sought therapy. He got brain scans at the Amen clinics. Turns out, it wasn't bipolar disorder. It was something else. He had neurological imbalances that explained his emotional outbursts, speech issues, and erratic behavior. Finally, a diagnosis that made sense. And a path to healing. By age 20, Justin Bieber had become one of the most ridiculed, overexposed, and misunderstood figures on the planet. His every move was under surveillance, and every mistake was fed to the media machine like clickbait. Currency. He wasn't just living in a glass house, he was trying to heal inside one. The public L's kept stacking. The 2014 chaos? Arrested for vandalism, then DUI, then resisting arrest. It was the tabloid trifecta. And the media ran wild, labeling him the fallen child star in real time. But quietly, something was shifting. That same year, Bieber turned to faith. He was baptized by Pentecostal pastor Carl Lentz, a figure who would later face his own downfall. At the time, though, it marked the beginning of Bieber's spiritual rebranding. He started showing up to church, talking about Jesus, posting Bible verses between selfies. In a 2020 interview with Zane Lowe, Bieber said, "When you accept Jesus, you walk with the Holy Spirit." It wasn't just a quote, it was a turning point. But here's where it gets real. He said he used to believe in Jesus, but didn't follow him. "There's no faith without obedience," he explained. He had the belief, but not the discipline. Until everything collapsed, he stopped sleeping around, stopped partying the same way, stopped chasing numbness and started chasing clarity. Then came his next plot point, Hailey Baldwin. They started dating again in 2018, and in September of that year, they got married. But the wedding ring didn't come with instant healing. In a 2022 Apple Music interview, Bieber admitted he had an emotional breakdown early in their marriage. "I thought marriage was going to fix all my problems, and it didn't." That line, Therapy TikTok couldn't have said it better. It wasn't the marriage's fault. It was the expectation that a partner could fix wounds that were never theirs to carry. Still, that relationship became a turning point. In a 2021 GQ feature, Bieber said Hailey and his faith community were his core. "I have a wife who I adore. I feel comforted by. I feel safe. I feel like my relationship with God is wonderful." It was giving grounded. It was giving emotionally available husband energy. It was the beginning of the glow-up era. But here's the thing. Healing isn't linear, and Bieber never pretended it was. In March 2025, he posted about feeling like he was drowning, still struggling to let go of hatred and pain. In April 2024, he uploaded a crying selfie. Peak vulnerability. Content. And in March 2025, he admitted to feeling like a fraud, saying he was still battling anger issues and deep self-doubt. The transparency? Rare. The pain? Still very real. As the Diddy allegations resurfaced, and their old interactions got dissected again, Bieber's mental health became a trending topic all over again. Fans started connecting dots that Bieber has never publicly confirmed. But the trauma response? It's loud in his silence. Sources say he's completely disengaged from the Diddy chaos, not avoiding, protecting, not hiding, surviving. And honestly, that checks out. Because the deeper question isn't just about what happened, it's about what it cost him. Behind the platinum albums and sold-out tours is a kid who never got to grow up in private. A kid who became a product before he understood what privacy meant. A kid who was trying to carry the weight of global fame, with no blueprint, no anchor, and no one to truly say no. So now, as the world tries to make sense of the Bieber-Diddy connection, another question rises. What role, spoken or unspoken, did those early experiences play in shaping the man Justin became? The truth may never be fully public, but the ripple effects? They're written all over his story. While Bieber was keeping it quiet, Diddy was heading straight into a villain arc that felt ripped from a prestige crime drama. Once a billionaire icon with music, spirits, fashion, and media under his belt, Diddy was now the lead in a federal investigation with the potential to erase his legacy completely. It all started in November 2023 when his longtime ex, Cassie Ventura, dropped a lawsuit that broke the internet. The allegations? Physical abuse, sexual assault, coercion, a 10-year relationship now painted as a decade-long nightmare. Diddy's legal team shut it down within 24 hours with a financial settlement. But the energy was clear. This was just the beginning, and it was. That first case opened the floodgates. Over 60 more lawsuits followed, alleging misconduct that stretched back to 1991. By March 25, 2024, the feds raided Diddy's homes in LA and Miami. What they found was wild. Illegal firearms, suspicious substances, and, no joke, over 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricant. Prosecutors tied those receipts to what they're calling freak-offs, alleged adult-themed trafficking events where victims were coerced, filmed, and silenced. On May 19, 2024, CNN released a 2016 security video showing Diddy assaulting Cassie in a Los Angeles hotel. The footage was graphic, unmistakable, devastating. He throws her, kicks her, drags her. Diddy responded with a PR playbook apology, claiming he was disgusted by his own behavior and had since sought professional help. But the public wasn't buying it. It was giving too little, too late. Then came the charges. On September 16, 2024, Diddy was arrested and indicted on 5 federal counts, including racketeering, adult trafficking by force or coercion, and unlawful transportation. His bail was denied just 2 days later. Why? Prosecutors said he was a risk for witness intimidation. The vibes? Full jailbird arc. He's been locked up at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn ever since. The indictments kept coming. In January 2025, new allegations expanded the racketeering case. By March, charges of forced labor were added, and in April, 2 more trafficking counts dropped, tied to incidents between 2021 and 2024. Each new detail was darker than the last. The freak-offs weren't just wild parties. Prosecutors alleged they were organized criminal events, fueled by money, substances, and power. Diddy pleaded not guilty at every arraignment. His legal team tried delay tactics, asking for more prep time. Judge Arun Subramanian shut it down. Then came the big blow. On April 25, 2025, the judge ruled that the Cassie assault video would be admissible in court. That same day, reports surfaced that Diddy had rejected a plea deal. The details of that deal remain unknown, but prosecutors clearly believe they have a case airtight enough to risk trial. And the charges? They're not small. He's facing life in prison if convicted on the trafficking counts alone. The case, officially titled United States v. Combs, kicked off jury selection on May 5, 2025. Judge Subramanian is presiding. The courthouse? Daniel Patrick Moynihan in Manhattan. The vibe? Historic nearly 100 potential jurors were screened. The final 12, plus 6 alternates, were seated on May 12th. That same day, opening statements started dropping bombs. Prosecutors painted Diddy as a cultural legend who was secretly running a criminal enterprise for 2 decades. They alleged arson, bribery, kidnapping, trafficking, and obstruction. They claimed the freak-offs were a central part of this network, and that they had video evidence to prove it. One of the most disturbing claims? That some participants needed IV drips from exhaustion after these events. The physical evidence is chilling. Over 1,000 bottles of lubricant, security footage, and videos that prosecutors say show abuse in real time. Cassie Ventura is expected to testify. So are 4 other women, 2 of whom were added through recent indictments. And then there's the wildest twist yet. One of the key victims? She's reportedly missing, adding a layer of chaos to the prosecution's strategy. In court, Diddy's defense team is spinning a completely different story. They're painting him not as a trafficker, but as a complicated man entangled in love, jealousy, infidelity, and money. They admit to the adult-themed events, but insist everything was consensual, framing it as a swinger lifestyle, not a criminal operation. They're leaning hard into the humanizing angle, using his legal name, Sean Combs, instead of Diddy. Trying to make the jury see a flawed man, not a mogul with a criminal empire. And while the prosecution is building their case with hard evidence, videos, raids, victim testimonies, the defense is pushing back, saying things were manipulated, misunderstood, or consensual. They tried to block the Cassie video. They failed. They also tried to dismiss charges related to transportation for adult work, arguing that the Mann Act, the basis of those charges, has a racist legal history. That motion was also denied. Now, as the trial unfolds, one question echoes louder than the rest. Will anything in this trial drag Justin Bieber into the narrative? So far, no direct involvement, no legal link. But that hasn't stopped the internet from spiraling. Every resurfaced clip, every strange quote, every awkward moment from those early Bieber-Diddy interactions is getting frame-by-frame analysis like it's the Zapruder film. And it doesn't help that Bieber has remained almost completely silent. In a culture that demands transparency, that sees silence as guilt, Justin's refusal to engage has only fueled the speculation. But behind that silence, there may be something deeper, something heavier. Maybe it's not guilt. Maybe it's protection. Maybe it's trauma control. And maybe, just maybe, he's trying to move on from a part of his life he never fully processed. The speculation hasn't stopped with Bieber. Comparisons to Usher, who also lived with Diddy as a teen, are flooding forums, Reddit threads, and commentary TikToks. Usher has mentioned curious things he saw at Diddy's parties. And while he hasn't linked those comments to Bieber, the parallels are enough to keep content creators posting nonstop. But here's the hard truth. Without Bieber publicly confirming anything, it's all theory. And maybe that's the point. That trauma doesn't always come with press conferences. Sometimes the loudest screams are the ones nobody hears because they happen in private, long after the spotlight fades. Still, fans can't help but look at Bieber's decades-long mental health journey and wonder. What role did Diddy actually play in all of it? Was it mentorship, manipulation, or something far more damaging? And that brings us to the wider cultural moment, because this case, United States versus Combs, isn't just about Diddy. It's about an industry that's operated unchecked for far too long. It's about systems built to exploit the young, the gifted, and the unprotected. It's about the kids who became commodities before they ever became adults. Justin Bieber is just one face in a generation of exploited stars. And now, the calls are louder than ever for actual reform, for creator, safeguarding, especially for child stars. Because fame without protection is just trauma on a stage. As the trial continues, fans are divided. Some want Bieber to speak, others want him to rest. Some say he owes it to the truth. Others say he owes himself peace. Whatever side you're on, one thing is clear. This is bigger than gossip. It's about power. It's about accountability. It's about who gets protected and who gets discarded. And as for Bieber, his story, his silence, continues to hang in the air like a question no one wants to answer. Was he just another casualty of a system that builds stars to break them? Or is he the quiet survivor of something even darker? We may never get the full answer. But the fact we're still asking, that says everything. And that's the story. Click that subscribe button showing on your screen right now, because in the next video, we're going even deeper. See you next time.